You. Let's get you some iconic words. This time we're learning English with Kris Wu. You can learn a lot of things from talk shows, but most importantly is to pick up some go-to phrases, and that would really benefit the way you speak in real life. They're popular, you can hear them everywhere.
Korea back in the days doing other stuff. Back in the days when I first started.
Back in the days in China, they didn't have this.
And they could be used in many situations.
It's dope, probably even the type of vibe you could bring to them.
Just the vibe for sure. Dreamy party type of vibes.
That's dope.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So that's why you will get enough natural repetition and quickly get used to the conversational style. Hey, 我是 Nate。学口语的一项重要技能就是养成一套个人的讲话习惯。你可以从一些最常见的情景短语开始。Probably they're not from books, but just in real life. 现实生活口语中有很多课本里不讲的短语。今天 Nate 会跟你一起看吴亦凡的英文采访，找出他经常说的一些习惯口语。And those are great materials. 重复这些短语和场景，可以让你更熟悉生活口语的讲话风格，也能加强不同场景的灵活运用能力。如果你喜欢本期视频，请帮我们点赞，也可以告诉 Nate 你的想法，还有想要学習的話題。So Lies Life says here, I was wondering what kind of phrases do American teens use in their real life? Well, we do have something to say about this question. And before we get there, 我们先来看一组最常见的口语话题，就是谈个人经历。
Like I started listening to hip hop music when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I grew up playing basketball too. Back in the days when I first started, obviously, I moved to Vancouver when I was 10 years old. So I was there for 8 years, and I was in Korea back in the days doing other stuff. Started like about 20 years ago, I guess.
Sure,
People started doing hip hop music, like super underground.
Back in the days in China, they didn't have this event. This is a very new event. It's almost like I think it just started, I believe 3-4 years ago.
Okay, cool.
As you have noticed, back in the days and started 这两个是他最常用的。在不同的采访片段中谈到类似的情况，你会听到他说很多次相似的表达。Back in the days 意思就是那时候那些日子。口语里面还有很多以 back in 开头的短语，表示回到某一段具体的时间，比如 back in the day, back in high school. When you go back to those days, you think about the past. And then started doing something. 开始做一件事，更是一个讲述经历最基本的表达。你会听到很多企业家在讲述到自己创业经历的时候说 When I started this company, or when I started this or that. And you can use these expressions for your own stories. 我们自己的经历也可以用这些表达，比如说以前我刚开始学英语的时候，一想到这段经历，你可能会说回到那个时候。So back in the days when I first started learning English. 或者我刚开始在这上班的时候 When I started working here.
When I started working here, I realized this place wasn't something I would enjoy.
开始做一件事一般说 start doing or to do something. Doing 会显得比 to do 更正式一点，也可以直接加一个名词，比如 start college. 开始上大学。讲经历就用过去式 When I started college, blah blah. 你可以专门练习它的发音，在说话的时候想到过去需要你很顺畅的说出来，所以不会有时间考虑语法。像吴亦凡说到自己12岁开始听嘻哈音乐，他就说 I started to listen to hip-hop music when I was like 12 years old. 像 back in the days when 还有 started when 都是习惯性的组合。我们来看一组美剧片段，在各种各样的情景下，你可以怎么用 started when 来讲述经历呢
It's just that when I started dating Mike, he seemed like such a normal guy, you know?
We started dating back in high school.
When Joe and I started seeing each other, we wanted exactly the same thing.
When Lily and I started hanging out again, neither...
Oh, we just started hanging out again. I don't want to rock the boat.
When I started writing as Jonathan Noble,
And eventually, when I started studying Egyptology...
Started making money when I was 16.
I first started playing baseball when I was 8 years old.
I started modeling when I was 14 years old. I started modeling when I was 15.
Maria? I started my first job when I was 13.
And I started my first job delivering newspapers when I was 13 years old.
I started this company when I was a boy with a dream of making the world a better place.
Alright, looks like this started everything earlier than me, and I can just say that I started to speak English when I was a dog. Well, you can basically talk about everything in your past with these words. Another situation is when Kris Wu was talking about how hip-hop music and Double 11 got started in China. 在谈到中国的嘻哈音乐和双11的时候，他也用到了这些组合。Back in the days, they didn't have this event. And I think it just started like 3 or 4 years ago. 过去没有这个活动，我觉得应该是几年前开始的吧。
Back in the days in China, they didn't have this event. This is a very new event. It's almost like I think it just started, I believe 3-4 years ago.
Okay, cool.
有一些基本的 keywords 就能够边想边说，根据需要融入口语化的词进去。比如 It started, I believe, 3 or 4 years ago. It started like about 20 years ago, I guess. 你也可以用这样的方式练习说英语，培养自然的语言组织能力。另外一个常见的话题就是个人爱好。Like most people, when you tell others about yourself or your career, you would say something like how you grew up and how you fell in love with those things. So let's see how Kris Wu uses these keywords.
The shape of it, though, it looks like a basketball because I grew up playing basketball, and that's how I got into this whole hip-hop culture, and I think this is kind of where I started. So starting when I was young, I was just listening to a lot of hip-hop music while playing basketball and stuff like that, so I got really into it.
What do you remember about this meal growing up?
Oh, growing up? This is my mom's favorite, and she made me drink this every day almost. Like, I started listening to hip-hop music when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah,
and I grew up playing basketball too.
Okay.
So like it's like super, like I'm just super deep into that hip-hop culture.
在成长的过程，你会逐渐培养一些个人爱好。除了 start 以外 ，grow up 和 get into 也是两个很实用的短语。grow up 就是长大，它后面可以跟上 doing something， 就是从小到大经常做的一件事儿。So I grew up playing basketball， 就是说我是打篮球长大的。那比如见到偶像的时候，你想说我是听你的歌或者看你的节目长大的。I grew up listening to your music.I grew up watching your shows. Hi, Grandma.而 get into 可以用的情况更多。You can get into a school, a profession, a group of people, or just something you love. 因为它本来的意思就是进入，而 into 也有喜欢的意思。So if you get into something in particular, that means 你入门了一个东西，然后开始喜欢它。That's how kind of I got into this whole hip-hop culture.So I got really into it. 他说这两句话就是说，我就是这样融入嘻哈文化的，我真的很喜欢它。所以平时我们在说故事和经历的时候，都可以用它来说你进入一所学校，进入一个行业，或者说喜欢上了某一件事。像 She got into Harvard， 她被哈佛录取了。I got into the retail business， 我进入了零售行业。And he got into science，他喜欢上了科学。
Not me. I got into science because I was always the smallest kid in school.
I got into photography.
I got into home security because I was assaulted at 15.
Straight A's, all honors. She got into Harvard.
Yeah, so what are you doing? What's your deal?
I got into Columbia. We'll see.
这些都是美剧里面常见的台词。If you're into something, that means you kind of like that. But what if I don't like it?对于不太喜欢的东西，你可以说 I'm not a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of it.
I enjoy that movie a lot. And usually I'm not a big fan of musical movies, But this one definitely was something different. Like, I wasn't really a big fan of seafood, but I mean, you can't really say no to this.
Well, I'm not a fanboy, but I kind of like the way he speaks English, so I'm here for it. 如果那些特定情景的表达会限制你的思路，我们来看一些近几年比较流行的词，属于那种随时发表感想时会用的，比较不认真，但是可以随时说，不会让你尴尬。比如 dope and vibe.
They're more of like a chill vibe too, so they like it's dope, probably even the type of vibe you could bring to them.
Dreamy party type of vibes.
Dope. Yes.
Dope 这个词很多年轻人喜欢说，它就是很酷、很厉害的意思。比如听到一首很好听的歌，可能会说 Oh, that's dope.
Surround sound.
That is dope.
I mean, how dope is that?
It's pretty dope.
Vibe 也是最近几年经常听到的词，它是 vibration 的简化版，意思就是感觉、气氛。尤其是音乐和电影，给人们的感觉经常是比较综合抽象的，所以会用这个词表示整体的风格和气质。Hey, what do you love about LA? 你喜欢洛杉矶哪里呢？ For me, it's like just a vibe for sure. 我觉得就是一种气氛吧。 你有没有平时喜欢说的短语呢？可以留言告诉我， Nate 会把它做成剪辑放在 Instagram 上面。Don't forget to subscribe. We got a lot of videos to make.
Compass. I just want to be the bridge and it links up the East and the West. These are the people that support and they're always positive. They appreciate good music. They're open-minded, they're cool. These people are the people that they will just hate no matter what you do. So yeah, just leave them at the bottom corner. Ignore them. It's all good.